In today's vlog, we're going to look at the Law of One Tarot, and we are going to compare the archetypes and the densities to the language of what is truth, what is inquiry, with the shadow being doubt. Which card creates doubt? I haven't really thought of this in terms of lotto. Maybe I should go buy a lotto ticket. Law of One Tarot, but I've been looking at the gene keys quite a bit, and I've been looking at like my experience with the gene keys. So I figured that I wanted to have a look at this concept here. Okay, so what or which archetype in the Law of One Tarot do you think most causes doubt? Which one? Have a look at them. And I want you to, and this is kind of my teaching style too in the book, in the Law of One workbook that I sell. It's on Amazon. It's on here too on this website, balrajgill.ca. But I want you to have a look at the cards, and I want you to think about the shadow of doubt. Which card, when you look at all of them, and I'm doing this with you, I haven't done this yet actually, which card portrays doubt to you? Let's have a look. Which one screams doubt to you most? Okay, so I don't just have one, I have three. So I'm gonna give you a little bit more time since I have three, and I don't know why I have three. I thought I could pick out one, and I thought we could do this together, but I kind of have three in mind here. Maybe four. I have four. So have a look. Pick as many as you want. It doesn't matter. Write them down, and then let's talk about it. I don't even know why I have these four in my mind, but the shadow of doubt. Which archetypes portray the shadow of doubt to you the most? Okay, so let's talk about this. So the shadow of doubt for me, I almost have 5 now as I was looking at the cards. And this is kind of a cool exercise. I do this with myself all the time. Like when I stare at the cards, I usually have something that I'm thinking about, and this is how the cards start speaking to me. And so I figured I was thinking about, I've been doing my gene keys with Richard Rudd or something like that. It's called, anyways. So one of the gene keys that are mine and part of my archetypes and astrology is the shadow of doubt. Huge shadow of doubt. So of course I relate everything to the Law of One, and I thought I'd do this exercise with you in real time. So now, as I'm looking at this, I feel like what stands out as doubt the most to me is the potentiator of the body complex. The potentiator of the body complex, which is right here, the Hermit. The reason I say that is because you see how he's got the DNA strands on his turban? The turban covers his crown chakra. The turban doesn't allow direct light from the rays of the sun to enter the crown. Therefore, the DNA is compromised if it doesn't see the rays of the light and receive the information from the sun rays or the moonlight. Doesn't matter. When your DNA is compromised, you begin to become more of your ego. I kind of want to say it's kind of like, you know, that we all had to get not too long ago. We did or didn't get, but we were required to get. That changes your RNA structure. And what that does is it messes up your DNA, which will always create doubt, because now the DNA, it's not luminous. And the chemicals of will change RNA structures or DNA structures, I think. I know it messes around with your DNA for sure. So the first one that came into my mind's eye was the hermit, that creates doubt. All this stuff is going to create anxiety and doubt because you lose your connection with the divine. And he's so heavily cloaked. So heavily cloaked. Everywhere, from the turban, clothing. The staff he has here, the snake head, is between his heart and his solar plexus chakra, right? And that to me indicates the ego. When you have the snake head, cobra, whatever it is, on your crown, like here, like here, like here, that's consciousness. So anyways, doubt. My first look was potentiator, body complex, hermit. The second one that I thought was possibly also doubt was matrix, spirit complex, which is gas, your breath, the devil card. First dimension. Because the spirit complex comes in with lessons that it wants to transform. It wants to experience things that create suffering, usually, in order to transform the suffering into love. So right away, that duality is formed within the matrix. That's why I thought that the spirit complex was possibly doubt. The third one I thought was the potentiator of the spirit complex, which is the tower card. Everyone's falling off the tower. It's because they don't trust themselves. They don't trust to look at this lightning rod, light. In the darkness, look at all the dark. You have one rhythm of light. And they choose to fall off the pyramid, the building, because of the destruction that they think that this light can do. The fourth one that I thought was doubt was experience, spirit complex, the moon card. Now, I see this one as doubt, but then again, there's yin and yang. I feel like this is when you start questioning the doubt more, and the doubt starts turning into inquiry, which is Inquiry is not a shadow aspect. Inquiry is how to get rid of the doubt, how to get rid of the shadow, how to face the shadow. You face doubt through inquiry. So even though there's black and white here, dark and light here, yin and yang here, this is more, it's like doubt turning into inquiry. When you start thinking, why am I doubting this? What? When you start asking questions, you start inquiring. So this brings me to the next one. I know I talked about, so those to me are the shadows of doubt as archetypes in the Law of One Tarot. That's just my opinion. And this is real time. I haven't even looked at this and thought about it yet. And I didn't realize I was even going to look at the moon card. When I first looked at it, it looked like doubt to me. But when I started speaking, I feel like now it's more inquiry than doubt. I feel like it's your first realization that you can actually question doubt. And I always feel like, I say this to my son all the time too, is that there's no black and white in this world. There's no, oh, sorry. I always say to my son, there's no gray in this world. See this gray here? There's no gray. The world is black and white. You either do something that is ethically right or it's ethically wrong. It all depends on your perception. So there's a very strong stance in the white, very strong stance in the black. The gray area is the doubt, where people want you to be. Your job is to get out of that doubt and understand the black and understand the white. So maybe this is the card of inquiry for me, now that I'm talking about it to you. And that was going to be my second question, because to get rid of doubt, you have to start a process of inquiry. So maybe the moon card is inquiry. And then from inquiring, the highest regard of inquiry will come truth. And the truth is your truth. It's not anybody else's truth. It's your truth. And you only receive your truth by almost going through this debating process of doubt, that inquiry process. Maybe it's the moon card, I don't know. But that is how you come to the throat chakra right here, to absolute truth, your truth, which is, for me, the significator. And in order to come to the absolute truth, after this spirit complex of inquiry, and inquiry takes courage. This is your courage, right? Your body has to let go of the doubt in order to even inquire and question it. But you have to understand that your body is uneasy. There's this feeling of like unease, and that will only subside through the process of inquiry. And you need courage to do that, because everybody will tell you you're wrong for inquiring. And maybe that's the unease that you feel in the moon card. Maybe that's the unease that you feel in the moon card. Maybe this is inquiry. Which then will bring you out of the gray, out of the doubt, and it'll bring you to your truth. And that truth will have a definite side. This is not right for me. This is right for me. Now I'm no longer in the gray. I am not in the gray. I've made the choice, because remember the choice card, which in the major arcana in modern day tarot is the Fool card. The choice card pairs up with the significator. So maybe through this Moon card, the spirit complex of the experience, you make a definite choice of truth. So once you've come to the truth for yourself and your perspective, what works for you, you let it go. And when you make that process of letting it go, the organs, the body complex in 5D, fifth dimension, begins to start observing its own organs. And you release the pattern of time and space for a little while when you're hung upside down like that. And that release of time and space is a release of this 3D, this heavy, heavy earth, and the suffering within it. Because you now see all the grapes. See all the grapes here? See how these two pillars that are holding him up have grapes? And the only other card that has pillars is her, the high priestess. And they're very clearly yin and yang. Yin, yang. But now, and very clearly here too in the moon card, yin, yang. When you surrender it all, because you've come to this, like you've inquired, and you come to your own personal truth, your personal perspective that no one else in the outside world can influence because it's yours. You've went through the process of inquiry, which is a spiritual process because you're observing your thought now. And then you just let it go. You give no righteousness to it. Your thought is not better than somebody else's. Your perspective is not better than the other person's. You just let it go. And that drops you back into the sun card, which is the completion of the yin and yang, the union, the oneness with the divine. Because you came from a place of love, not insertion of your thought. If you want to be right and you're like, this is right, this is wrong, I think then you end up staying in this moon card and you don't move. Then you go backwards. The Wheel of Fortune is your chakra wheel is going to spin you back into your ego, back into here. This way, back into here. Anyways, I might do more of these actually. I wanted to look at my notes from my gene keys. I was looking at my Venus sequence and I wanted to, very interested in it. And one of the things that were big in my life, and I recognize it as big, was doubt. And it's actually when I came to a place of inquiry in my own life that I began to observe, because I was very insecure. I was uneasy about my own truth because I was told the opposite of what I was beginning to think. I was always starting to look at the world from a more positive side with more love, but the way I grew up, it wasn't like that. It was very much so you do for yourself. Self-serving. So when I started really becoming service to others, which I was in my job anyways. I was a nurse for a very long time. And it is part of my nature. I'm a Cancer to nurture and be service to others. So it was actually easier than some of my family members that are still stuck in that cycle, which I watch and observe. So interesting. So anyways, I wanted to compare this gene key here of doubt as the shadow. And to get over this shadow, you need to use the gift of inquiry. And inquiry brings you to truth. And the line that I have, I don't know what this means even yet, is responsibility. I feel like what this line means is what I'm doing right now. It is my responsibility when I learn something that helps me enhance my consciousness to share it with you guys. And the avenue that I share it through is the Law of One Tarot. That's all I know. That's all I know. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Love you guys.